You know what most people get completely wrong about highly intelligent people? They think intelligence looks like straight A's, fast answers, and confident speeches. It almost never does. Psychology tells us that a truly high IQ shows up in quiet, unusual, and often misunderstood behaviors. This video reveals 10 things people with high intelligence do differently every single day. The first thing they do differently is talk less and listen more. High IQ individuals are rarely the loudest voice in the room. They observe, absorb, and process before they ever open their mouth. Research from the University of Michigan found that people who listen more than they speak demonstrate stronger critical thinking skills. Their brain is busy collecting information, not performing for others. The second thing is that they are deeply comfortable with uncertainty. Most people panic when they do not have an answer. Highly intelligent people sit comfortably inside questions without needing to force a conclusion. Psychologist Abraham Maslow called this trait tolerance of ambiguity. He found it to be one of the strongest predictors of creative and intellectual ability across all fields of study. Third, they constantly question things others simply accept. A high IQ mind does not take the world at face value. It asks why, how, and what if even about the most ordinary and familiar things. This habit is linked to what psychologists call actively open-minded thinking. Studies show that people who habitually question assumptions score significantly higher on fluid intelligence tests than those who do not. Fourth, they have a habit of talking to themselves. This might sound strange, but highly intelligent people frequently think out loud or hold inner conversations as a way of working through complex problems. A study published in the Quarterly Journal of Experimental Psychology confirmed that self-directed speech improves cognitive performance. It helps the brain stay focused and think through problems in an organized and efficient way. Fifth, they tend to worry more than average people. This surprises most people, but a high IQ mind does not shut off. It runs through scenarios, possibilities, and risks even when there is no immediate threat present. Research from Lakehead University found a strong link between higher verbal intelligence and the tendency to worry. The same brain that solves complex problems also imagines complex dangers. It is simply always working. Sixth, they are messy in very specific ways. Their desk, room, or workspace may look like chaos to outsiders. But inside that disorder is often a very personal and functional system only they fully understand. A study from the University of Minnesota found that people who work in messy environments tend to produce more creative and original ideas. Their brain thrives when it is not forced into rigid external structure. Seventh, they struggle to fall asleep at a normal time. High IQ individuals are often night owls not by habit, but by nature. Their brain simply does not switch off when the clock says it should. Psychologist Satoshi Kanazawa studied sleep patterns and found that more intelligent individuals genuinely prefer staying up later at night. Their mind keeps generating thoughts long after the rest of the world has gone quiet. Now, consider this for a moment. Have you ever lain awake at night, unable to stop your mind from running through ideas, memories, and questions no one else around you seems to think about? Maybe that was never a problem. Maybe that was always a sign. Eighth, they have a very dark or unusual sense of humor. Intelligent people often laugh at things others find confusing or even uncomfortable. Their humor goes places that require mental flexibility and fast pattern recognition. A study published in the journal Cognitive Processing found that people who appreciate and create dark or absurdist humor score higher on both verbal and nonverbal intelligence tests. Humor, at its core, is a form of very fast thinking. Ninth, they find it difficult to relate to most people around them. This is not arrogance. It is something quieter and sadder. A high IQ mind sometimes feels like it is operating on a frequency others simply cannot tune into. Psychologists refer to this as the burden of intelligence. Research shows that highly intelligent individuals report higher rates of social isolation not because they dislike people, but because deep and meaningful connection is genuinely harder to find. 10th, they are their own harshest critics. A high IQ person rarely feels truly satisfied with their work. They always see the gap between what they produced and what they believe they were capable of producing. This habit is connected to what psychology calls metacognition, the ability to think about your own thinking. Intelligent people constantly evaluate their own performance, often holding themselves to standards no one else would ever impose on them. There's something else worth noting about all 10 of these habits. None of them are glamorous. None of them look impressive from the outside. Most of them look like flaws to people who do not understand what they are seeing. The restless sleep looks like a bad routine. The self-talk looks like odd behavior. The worry looks like anxiety. The messiness looks like laziness. But underneath each of these habits is a brain that simply will not stop working. Now let us return to where we began. You thought you knew what a highly intelligent person looks like. You imagined confidence, speed, and polish. But real intelligence is quieter and stranger and far more interesting than that image ever suggested. High IQ does not announce itself loudly. It hides in the person who asks one more question after everyone else has moved on. It lives in the quiet, the worry, the sleepless night, and the endless inner conversation that never truly stops. The most intelligent mind in any room is rarely the one doing the most talking. It is usually the one in the corner, still thinking about the question everyone else already forgot they were supposed to be answering.